So I know one of the biggest struggles when going on a cruise is what to wear, and definitely what to wear on cruise formal night, or maybe your cruise line doesn't even call it formal night. It's called cruise elegant or dress your best. You're wondering, what does that mean? How do I dress? Well, I'm going to give you some tips and help you out. So my husband and I have been cruising for 25 years, so we have seen it all from back when things were very formal. Everything was called formal. You would even see men in tuxedos, and you could rent tuxedos, to full gowns, cocktails, sequins, you name it. Things have changed along the way, but by no means is all that disappeared. You will still see on many of the cruise lines people dressed up to the nines. So a lot of it depends on the cruise line. There are only a couple of cruise lines that still call it formal night anymore, and even that is less formal than it used to be. So for instance, like Holland and Princess are still pretty formal. Royal Caribbean calls it dress your best. Of course, again, what does that mean? It could mean anything. I do find Royal to be more casual on even the formal nights. I still call it formal. The dress your best, the elegant night, the dressy night is probably the easier way. Of course, you have lines like Norwegian that don't even have a specific formal night, but you can still dress up on certain nights. Holland America, Princess, and Celebrity, you will definitely find them a little more dressed up than the other lines. However, I feel like Celebrity is maybe a little less dressed up, but everybody looks very pulled together, if that makes sense. So it's maybe not as buttoned up as Princess and Holland, but everybody puts in the effort. Everybody just looks really good. It's just that great mix of people, I feel like, that put effort into their outfits that they don't need to go all out, but yet they still look very relevant for the evening. Now, I actually like dressing up. However, I don't want to be uncomfortable. That is where I draw the line. The older I get, the less like tight and short and all that I'm going to do. I did that when I was younger, and I just don't have the patience for it. And I don't want to be fussing with something. So anything you have ever seen me wear, it is definitely comfortable. That is my number one. I want to be comfortable, but I also want to look good. Anything I'm speaking about will be linked below, and I will pin it to the top comments. If it's available, I will use the YouTube shopping link, because I know most of you like that. You can just click on it. My video still plays, and those are the pictures you see pop up on the screen. It also has them in order in the video description when you open that up. So let's just start with the most simple of what advice I give to so many people asking me what they should wear. I always say, I just had this conversation with someone, when in doubt, wear all black. There are so many different ways you can dress up black, whether it be a dress or a top and pants or a jacket and pants. You can definitely dress things up with accessories. So for instance, say you just had a simple black dress. You could definitely have some earrings, some jewelry, maybe a wrap, your elegant clutch, handbag. All those things really dress up a simple outfit. If you don't want to wear black, then by all means, like navy, a dark color. Navy and black, you can't go wrong. I always think one of the easiest things is separates. Like say you have an off-the-shoulder top or sweater, like an elegant cashmere maybe, and you put that with some really nice looking black trousers. Dress it up with those accessories and you automatically look elegant. So definitely don't discount the simple black, whether it be a two-piece set, a jacket and a top, a sweater and a top, a shirt and a top, or a simple dress with maybe just a fun element. Definitely you can dress that up with accessories and you automatically then look put together. So definitely make accessories work for you. That is to me what stands out over a more elegant night. Use that small, nice clutch, whether that be in like a gold or a metallic or a black. Maybe it has some embellishment. That's the time to put away the other handbags and bring out something nice. If you do carry a handbag, if you don't, then obviously don't worry about carrying a handbag, but a handbag, a nice clutch or something small can definitely elevate an outfit for evening. I see women all the time on a cruise, and especially older women, older than me, like my mom's age. Her and her friend were a prime example of they had on all black, but they dressed it up with their accessories. My mom's dress had like a little bit of a ruffle on it on a recent cruise, like just gave it a little sassiness, but I see women all the time on a cruise where they're in all black, but they've really done it up with the accessories and they just look so pulled together and elegant. One thing to stay away from would definitely be like prom type dresses over the top. Definitely don't borrow your daughter's prom dress, because that will just date you and you're better off just wearing wearing a more simple outfit. I have a packing guide that I will link for you below that also gives some of my outfit tips and things to bring on a cruise. So one thing you definitely want to do, and I've said this in a lot of my cruise outfit videos, is I take into consideration the time of year, the ship I'm on, and where I'm going. It really does have a lot that plays into what I wear. For instance, like if you're going on an Alaska cruise, that's going to be a more casual cruise across the board. So you definitely don't have to dress up as much. I wouldn't bring out your most formal gown for that. Keep into consideration the materials of your outfit as well. I often say this, you will see me wear like a long style maxi dress in the spring or to Caribbean cruises, but the material elevates it. Definitely have something like in a chiffon, not anything too casual. That's when I leave the jersey knits and the too cottony material for daytime or other nights. I would not use that as your formal cruise elegant evening look. Be sure to check out your cruise line's dress codes. They all have them, but I feel like so many people do not read that information about like what you can bring, what you can't bring, what you should wear. They are very clear on each line of what is suggested and definitely what's not suggested. So go by those lines. I always say to play it safe, think wedding. What would you wear to a wedding? And what would you wear to an elegant dinner? Keep in mind, this is formal dining. I think so many people forget that because you're on a cruise. If you're going to the dining room, it is formal dining. So that is what a lot of lines will suggest too, is what would you wear to a nice dinner out? I feel like those are like good basics to keep in mind when you're choosing what to wear. Of course, if you are going like on a Christmas or a New Year's cruise, like anything goes. You will see everything from everybody done up in sequins and gowns on New Year's. And of course, Christmas, everybody will have like their Christmas best on. So it's really fun, I feel like, that time of year to see all the different outfits. And a lot of times you just learn by going. But I know if this is one of your first cruises, you're always wanting to know what is everybody wearing. I do the same thing when I'm going somewhere new or researching. I like to know what to wear because I definitely dress for where I'm going. Say if you're just going on your typical Caribbean cruise, some of the outfits that are my go-to that I just find comfortable is a simple maxi style dress. I like long because it's more forgiving. I feel like it gives that little bit more of elegant look. Again, like I said, I don't do short or tight anymore. I love cocktail dresses, but honestly, I find a lot of them uncomfortable is why you don't see me in them. So for me and my shape and kind of what flatters me anymore, I will just typically go with like a long style maxi dress that usually cinches in at the waist because I need something to highlight my waist so I can add a belt if it didn't come with it or switch out a belt. Now in the summer or spring, I will definitely add some fun prints. I had that fun green one on our recent trip that I just loved that dress, so I'm going to be wearing it again. It's a little bit loud for most people, I realize, but because of the shape of the dress, even though it was cotton, it gave it a little bit more elegance. It was a very full skirt, but a lot of times you will just see me in like a chiffon style material with different colors. I still have some of them from years ago because they still look nice and they're just easy to wear. That is my definite go-to, is I want easy to wear and I'm going to be comfortable. I'm not going to be pulling at it when I sit down or it feel too tight, though I've had that happen too. So I definitely, anything that is a little more form-fitting, I wear earlier in the week because it may not fit as great later in the week. And I've had that happen too. So definitely keep that in mind. So I know some of you are worried about shoes, and I'm one of those that I like a nice looking shoe, but I want it to be comfortable. But I know some of you have said like, oh, you don't dress up that much because you have to wear more comfortable shoes. In that instance, I would just wear a longer pant that you don't see much of the shoe. And definitely that all black, again, that will elongate as well if you're wearing all one color. And then everything blends. It's not like the shoe is the focus. So keep the focus up top with the jewelry and a nice top or jacket, blazer, maybe some sequins up at the top, and then the bottom's plain. And then that way you can wear your comfortable shoes, but they're not the focus and you still look elegant. So I'm going to throw this tip in here for men because I often talk about this with people too. I know a lot of guys don't like dressing up. I get it. I'm fortunate that my husband doesn't mind wearing a suit. He likes it. And I understand if he had to wear one 24/7, for work, he might not. I see a lot of men on the cruise boards asking if they can wear dark jeans or just a shirt and a tie. Here would be my tips for men. Yes, depending on the cruise line, I would definitely say dark denim, but wear it with a sport coat. You will look much more pulled together if you wear a button up or even if you wanted a polo, something with a collar, and you wear a sport jacket over it with your nice denim. That will look more pulled together, elegant, age appropriate than wearing a long sleeve button down with a tie. I always think when I see a tie and a shirt without a jacket these days, I know in the 90s it was popular. These days, when I see that, I immediately think high school football because you know how they had to dress up the night before going to their football dinner or a football banquet. A little bit the look isn't pulled together. So that's what I always say to people. If you feel more comfortable in your dark denim or your khaki pants or something, just put on a simple shirt under it with a jacket and then no tie. I, again, think that looks so much more pulled together. I mean, my husband has done that like on Norwegian, for instance, because they don't have a formal night, but there will still be nights that they suggest, you know, you can dress up if you want photos. So my husband has done that. So I hope that helps with the men. I do get questions about that. Let me know if you want me to do a separate video all on kind of men's style for outfits on a cruise. I can share like what my husband wears. I think men are easy. My husband wears almost the same thing on every cruise we go on. Obviously mine's different because I'm sharing the outfits and you know, I love clothes, but his is so easy and it's so comfortable. So let me know what your go-to looks are on a cruise formal night. Do you dress up? Do you not? Do you avoid it? I mean, by all means, if you don't want to go to the dining room, there is an option of just going to the buffet, and that way you don't have to even bring those clothes if you don't want. We like dressing up, so that's one of my favorite parts is every evening going to dinner and dressing up. I will leave my cruise outfit playlist linked as well to give you some other ideas, and everything I spoke about again will be listed in the description. I hope you guys found this helpful, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.